Hello friends, what is up? This is Mina and welcome to another video on this YouTube channel. I am a practitioner, I am in leadership, an herbalist, all of these things. I'm really focusing 2026 to be a year that we start to move beyond the label, so practitioner is just gonna be the label. But I always like to hold space for the energy, the magic, the woo, what we have control over, how we can fine tune and set certain intentions to set us on our best path, our most aligned, authentic selves. So that way we can really utilize and take advantage of this incarnation, whatever that looks like. So today is a pretty special day. It is January 26th when I am recording this video, and if you are like me, I recently purchased this Llewellyn's Daily Planetary Guide. I had purchased a astrology workshop for myself for my birthday in 2024, I believe, and it's just something that I'm starting to get into. So I really like this daily planetary guide. It gives a breakdown of the astrology for week by week. And one of the energies that we are moving into today is Neptune is going into the sign of Aries today. And it previously was in the sign of Pisces since 2011. So based on this book and some astrology content, being in the energy of Pisces, so Neptune, one of the outer water-based planets, it's going to be all about that dream, that watery energy. So it's the emotions of the thing, it's the reverie of the thing. But we see here that as Neptune moves into Aries, Aries is the first planet in the zodiac. So it's the planet that operates like the emperor within the tarot. The emperor is all about structure. It's all about discipline. It's about gearing up the energies that we have spent our lives perfecting and working on, and looking for ways to share them and what that looks like for you. And that's something that I've been pondering a lot within my own life. I had gone through a dark night of the soul for the past few years, and 2025 I started to come out of it. The sun started to shine through the clouds, and I was like, okay. But now it's kind of left me in this state of, I wouldn't say limbo, but crossroads energy, where it's like, are my old dreams still valid and relevant? Do they still bring me joy? Or is my passion something different now? And what does the journey of discovery look like for that? Now, in this book and in some other books that reference astrology and how the planets and that aspect aligns, it talks about how when Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, we might experience more anxiety. We might be more in the plane of the planner, brainstorming, researching, reading. And I know that this has been a conversation amongst practitioners where we almost use the research aspect as a scapegoat to avoid action. But I feel this truth within my own life. I can guarantee you that as I started my path as a practitioner, I would read magical books, Wicca books, witchcraft, paganism, psychic development. And when it would say, okay, here's the part where we do a guided meditation, or here's the part where we set up our ritual and our altar space and we start engaging in these activities, I'd be like, oh, I'm snuggling and reading right now. I will come back to that part later. and I didn't as often. Even right now, I have this shamanic journeying workshop that I purchased for my birthday last year. As you can see, there's a theme here with workshops and classes for birthdays. And at the very end of this course, every lesson is just another shamanic journey. And so it's hard for me to get through those parts. And I have my particular reasons for it, but the point is that it's so easy for us to be in the research mindset, in the content absorption mindset, in, I'm reading the book, I'm learning about the thing. But we are moving into a time, and we have been, there's been conversations for years and years where we're saying we're moving into a time of action, and so time is irrelevant, but we're still governed under it. So that's why we're going to hear regurgitating messages from channelers and psychics and practitioners, because as a human governed by time, easily distracted and with many avenues to focus on, how we implement these things is very slowly, typically. We have heard a lot of channelers talk about how we're moving into a time of faster manifestation. And so it's very important for us to be clear with our manifestation goals and what we want that to look like, because we may see things starting to manifest a lot faster. Hi, Onyx, bring it here. Yeah? Oh my. Do you want me to throw that for you? Okay. Really quick. Okay, so ultimately, the energy is, as we are moving from Neptune and Pisces, where we were planning, we were brainstorming, maybe we had some emotions or some anxieties that we were working through, healing through. 2026, we're in a new 1-year cycle, or we're in a new 9-year cycle. It's year number 1. I talked about that in my previous video. Now Neptune, which is the planet that governs like our dreams, illusion versus reality, so getting clear on our truth and our path, is moving into Aries, which is the first planet, which is, a fire sign, which is connected with the Emperor energy, discipline, responsibility, sharing of our skills and our accomplishments, where our wisdom and mastery has taken us, in a way to figure out how we can be impactful from those skills to the planet, to the cosmos, to the universe. And that can look many different ways, okay? You may have a purpose that is more individual based, that is more solitary based, and we can't discount those things. I know there's conversation about that we are truly enlivened when we are giving of service to other people. But even just doing solitary work that focuses on raising the frequency and healing the planet in its foundational nature is incredibly valid and aligned for some people's journeys. We have gone through this time where we've mimicked what creators have done that has been their pathway to success. And sometimes that is posting content. But the posting and the sharing from content information, if it's just information share, is going to become, I wouldn't say irrelevant, but less relevant as we are moving towards how we can take more action to be impactful in our soul's evolution and development, and whatever that looks like having cat hair on my face. So it's definitely an interesting energy. to be moving into starting today. It's a great idea to spend some time with your journal. This is my current journal. I've had it since 2024. As you can see, I have mini tabs. I put tabs for the different seasons. I put tabs for certain things like, my yearly goals, or I have been focusing on manifesting my dream life by the time I'm 40. So some of those things. So yeah, it's a great time to just contemplate your dreams, what your dreams have been, what are they now, what do you feel drawn towards. There's a conversation of being pulled, that is part of a calling, having a calling in your life. What pulls you? And another aspect of that is making sure that we carve out time for boredom. It is so easy to be like, oh my gosh, I'm eating by myself. I'm taking a restroom break. I'm in between tasks. I have nothing to do. Time for some TikTok, and I am totally guilty of that too. But being in a state where we're constantly being inundated with content, information, entertainment, as entertaining as it is, it's disconnecting us from our intuition, from the whisper of our soul, from also the subtle messages of our spirit guides. So I've been really trying to look at my daily habits and how much of my day is governed by activities where I am not present, I'm not connected with myself, or I feel like I need to be scrolling and engaging in something else. Some of those things are really important energies to be aware of as we go into this energy. I do want to read a little bit from this book because Neptune in Pisces also has an energy that is more collective based. So both Neptune and Pisces are all about the utopian ideals and building the ideal society. Neptune has a hard time being tethered to reality, however, and the best intentions can go awry with idealism that can lead to negative consequences. Neptune enters go-getter Aries, we will have opportunity to find the right balance for society to function based on pragmatic idealism. Aries is also the sign of war, and as a collective, we will be able to summon up the bravery to fight our true ideals and create a new, better reality. However, we must also be wary of the fog of war and the use of propaganda against everyday people. It is more important than ever to seek out primary resources and fact check. And that's totally true. When I was in university, one of the classes I took was just so blatantly clear about how an event occurred and the news stations pulled out all of the most emotionally extreme aspects of that event, and that's what they played on the news as a way to create an emotional response in the viewer, because emotional responses create more views. But that is not the reality that we live in, and that's something that we have to be mindful of as well. It's so easy to hop onto an algorithm, engaging in one video, rewatching it one time, and next thing you know, you're on this algorithm where all you see are cheating husbands getting exposed by their partners. And even though obviously that's the algorithm that somehow I ended up on, And they're interesting videos. It's so sad to see them shared online. And it can give the viewer the ideal that this is what all relationships look like. And that's what we really have to be careful of, because as humans, we are the bridge of magic, energy, spirit, soul, and the manifestation on the physical plane. And so our beliefs create reality, and it can be very easy for us to start self-spiraling and manifesting a life that we don't want based on the algorithm and the content that we're consuming. If it starts to move to a place where it becomes belief, super scary. So I'm going to leave that there. That's kind of the energies that we're going into at a foundational basis for Neptune moving into the sign of Aries. It's going to be in Aries until May of 2038. So, but this is an opportune time to start taking action on your dreams, to start to look at how you can share of your skills and talents, but also to look in the mirror and look for ways that we can begin to hold ourselves more accountable, to be disciplined and responsible, and have a well-balanced structure to our lives where we can still achieve happiness and love and bliss, but be productive and a successful, helpful member of society, while also leaving space and time for play and relaxation and our own individual endeavors. And we can't do that all within a day, so we have to look at the span of our life, but put certain things into place based on what's realistic for our capacity and our time and our resources. So yes, let me know your thoughts. Share any insights that you've also connected with within this astrological shift. I am going to make another video that's connected to this one and pull some cards. So if you want to also check that video out and continue this conversation, then I will have that linked here as well. So stay wild and spooky, but most of all, stay magical. This is Mina. I will see you next time. Until then, take care.